I will show you how you can double the net worth of your next raise. You're about to negotiate your first salary or your next raise was announced. That makes you happy at first, but when you look on your paycheck, it makes you sad. An example, you're an employee who earns 4,000 euros gross per month. You are single and not a member of the church. You get 2,554 euros net transferred to your bank account. The rest is for tax, pension, health insurance, etc. Now you get a raise of 100 euros gross. You earn 4,100 euros and your net increases to 2,606 euros. So what's the net difference? 51.85 euros. It may be shocking to you that half of your raise is gone. I'm going to show you how you can get 100 euros net from 100 euros gross. But first, give me a few seconds to explain why you lose half of your net salary. In Germany, we have a progressive income tax system. The higher your income, the higher the tax percentage. You can see that in this chart. Anything up to 9,984 euros in 2022 means you don't pay tax. If you earn just 1 euro more, this euro will be taxed with 14%. You pay 14 cents tax for your whole income. This chart doesn't show you the average tax rate, which in this case would be insignificantly low. It shows you how much tax you pay for the next euro you earn. Let's jump to our example with 4,000 euros per month, so 48,000 euros per year. That's somewhere here. On top of that tax, you must consider that the rates for pension and health insurance slightly increase too. Overall, you lose half of your gross income. How do you get more net from your gross salary? One simple answer: non-cash benefits. The idea is your employer grants you certain benefits that the tax office declares free of income tax. This benefits your employer too. Let me show you how. Let's take our example again with a raise of 100 euros. It costs your employer 119.98 euros to give you a gross salary of 100 euros, which leads to a net of only 51.85 euros. That's terrible. Your employer has these hidden costs too that subsidize your health insurance, unemployment insurance, and pension. Maybe you didn't even know that you cost your employer 20% more than your gross salary. Here's what we want. You propose that your employer pays only 100 euros and you get a net worth of 100 euros. That's a win-win situation. Now, your job is simply to first find out what non-cash benefits are out there. I'm going to show you lots of possibilities. And second, go to your employer and convince him or her to give you a benefit instead of a raise. Before I get to the non-cash benefits, I got a serious request from one of my viewers. The most commented topic on my channel is our hamster Pico. Yes, he is alive and well, eating, running, and pooping. He's faster than me, has more followers, but he's just too fluffy to be hated. Now that we sorted out the most important topic, let's move on. The first non-cash benefit I recommend is a shopping card. In Germany, your employer can give you a prepaid card which is charged with 50 euros per month and an additional 60 euros on your birthday. We have that in our company and it looks something like this. You can use it in so many stores, you can basically get anything you need. It costs the employer a tiny amount to get this card, but the benefits are huge. It's called non-cash benefit, but you're basically getting cash that covers your next purchase. The next thing I recommend are things. You need a new computer, smartphone, bike to drive to work, or furniture for your home office. Your employer may be very happy to buy that for you instead of giving you a raise. Let's say you propose that your employer buys you a bike worth 1,200 euros this year and you will get a raise or something else next year. Your employer only spends 1,200 euros and you get a bike with a net value of 1,200 euros. It would have cost you about 2,000 euros gross to get this bike. Here's why your employer will be very happy. 19% of the 1,200 euros are value added tax. That's 228 euros. Your employer will most likely get all this money back from the tax office. So this bike doesn't even cost the company 1,000 euros. You're going to save your company money if you suggest non-cash benefits. Don't hesitate to do so. Keep in mind though that it's technically not your bike, but the company's bike, although you'll be using it in your free time. So don't do this if you're planning to leave the company anytime soon. I'm going to quickly mention more non-cash benefits. I'm not going to discuss all of them in detail. I think you get the idea. When you look for more details, make sure to check the following things. What's the maximum tax-free amount for this benefit? If you exceed that amount, you'll have to pay income tax. Some of those benefits aren't completely tax-free for you or the employer. In some cases, the employer pays a lump tax of 25%, which is still much lower compared to a raise. In other cases, like a company car that you use in your free time, you may have to pay tax. Let's do a fast one. When you relocate, ask your employer to pay for the moving expenses. Easy and highly beneficial for both sides. We've done that too. The employer can even provide housing for reduced rent. However, that's a bigger undertaking, which will require more research. Instead of a raise, you can always ask for more time off if that's more valuable to you. I highly recommend that you educate yourself at the expense of your employer. It benefits both sides, even in other aspects besides money. It's especially good for expats who want to improve their language skills with paid classes. I had mentioned food vouchers that can subsidize your daily meals. I had also mentioned a car that the company leases but that you use in your free time. I use that too, and I can only recommend it. Companies get better conditions for leasing cars, and overall both sides save a lot of money. If you go to work by car, you need to park somewhere. Maybe your company is in the city center and you must buy a parking ticket every day from your own pocket. Instead, ask your company to rent a parking space nearby. If you're on the plane a lot for work, you collect miles. Ask your employer if you may use those miles for yourself. You can get a huge discount on the company's products if you want them. Ask for recreational perks. Some are tax-free up to a certain amount. But if your employer pays for a nice and more expensive vacation, they only pay a lump 25% tax and you pay nothing. There are recreational activities, business trips, and travel allowances for private trips that you can benefit from. You can ask for additional health insurance, like insuring special dental treatment. If you wear uniforms or special clothing for work, ask your employer to pay for that. If you have children, your employer can subsidize daycare to quite a high amount. This is worth it. You can ask your company for a loan with a low interest rate. You may ask to get company shares instead of a raise. Keep in mind that this is of course risky because you could also lose money. Finally, you can ask your employer for an employer-funded pension plan. The benefits are good when some of your gross salary goes into that fund and your employer subsidizes it on top. This way you can accelerate the accumulation of your pension savings. You'll find that I have more videos about organizing your finances in Germany on my channel. So check those out and don't forget to subscribe. See you soon.